Hey folks, today I'm just going to update you on some of the changes I've made to my computer setups. Because I don't want to make individual videos for each one, we're going to slam it all into this one. So we're going to start with the main computer here. This computer is pretty much the same as it was with its 64 gigs of RAM and all, but I swapped out the graphics card. As you guys have watched that video may know, that had an AMD RX 460 in it, which is a great card. I'm not slamming the card. But it had some issues, personally, for me with some OpenGL stuff. In Second Life viewers in crowded areas, the frame rate would be a lot lower than it should be. I mean, it was going down to like 15, 12 frames per second. It was bad. So, I figured that was AMD just not doing OpenGL very well, which is not an uncommon thing to experience on an AMD card. It doesn't happen to all of them, but on some of them, or on certain drivers or versions of software you're using, it can vary. It's not completely consistent, and that's the part that bothered me. At least on Windows it isn't consistent, which is the weird part. However, what I decided to do is stick my 1050 Ti into this machine, which is a 4 gig version, so it's almost the same card in terms of where it is as far as tiers go. So I stuck the 1050 Ti in there. All the games I normally play perform pretty much the same on the 750 Ti, or the 750 Ti? All the games that I normally play perform pretty much the same on the 1050 Ti as they would on the RX 460. However, the 1050 Ti picks up the slack of the OpenGL performance. It's much better on the 1050 Ti. So I think what I tested was Second Life in a crowded area and Doom, and there were improvements when I put this guy in there. So I wanted this to kind of be an all AMD system just for the hell of it, but I still need NVIDIA for certain things, and graphics is one of them. At least on my Windows machines, it tends to do a little bit more. It tends to be a little more consistent and perform better in certain cases. However, I've noticed that that's changing when it comes to Linux. The Linux world is evolving, while the Windows world, NVIDIA is pretty much the best all-arounder, and AMD is really good for the money. But on Linux, it seems like you can use either one now and get good performance out of it. So I have a 1050 Ti in here now. So you may be asking, where did the RX 460 go? Well, there's where the interesting thing happens. Let's go to the computer in my bedroom. The Linux machine. And now we come to the computer in my bedroom. Let's open the blinds a little. It's kind of dark. That's better. So this is a Linux machine in my bedroom, as you know. It is the Haswell Core i5 based machine with 32 gigs of RAM. This is where the 1050 Ti that's now on my main computer used to be. I used to use this for things like Blender and, of course, a Second Life viewer. And it worked extremely well with those two things, and gaming too, I suppose. But I've moved that to my main computer because my main computer needed a bit of a boost in its OpenGL performance and its Second Life viewer performance as well. So what are we going to do about this machine? Well, I did try the RX 460 on Linux, and it does work. It works quite well. I tested games with it. Works amazingly well. Rocket League is beautiful on it. However, when you open up something like a Second Life viewer, shaders don't work properly. You turn the settings right up and things disappear. You get invisible objects and they come in and out, and it's just not good. That, I've determined after trying 2 different AMD cards, is a driver issue or an issue specific to Second Life viewers. So that's a shame. That's also on the open source AMD GPU driver that I've done all this testing, by the way. It'll get there eventually, I'm sure, but right now it needs time to bake as far as specific programs go. NVIDIA still has the most consistent performance on Linux, aside from Intel. Aside from Intel graphics, of course. Intel probably has the most stable open source stuff you can find on Linux as far as drivers go for the video. However, as far as AMD goes, it's getting there, but it's not quite where it should be yet. And when programs that I use don't work right when you turn the settings up, that's a problem. It's a shame because the RX 460 is a pretty well-equipped card. I also tried the R7370, which did perform better. The frame rates were better, but it still has that same problem where things disappear and shaders and mesh go invisible in the Second Life viewers. So that's kind of a problem. It seems like graphics are a bit of a weird thing on Linux. AMD is still not what you want to use on Linux. On Windows, it really doesn't matter. You can use whatever you want, and you'll get pretty consistent performance. But if you use certain things, like in my case, Second Life viewers that really love memory bandwidth and love things thrown at them when it's not an NVIDIA card, it's a different story. So what are we going to do to this machine? We're going to do what I just mentioned. We're going to throw an NVIDIA card in it. This is my old 750 Ti that I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize. It's a 2 gig version of the card, so it'll have plenty of video RAM. So it'll have plenty of video RAM for the purposes that I want to use this for. And that's the limit, I think, that a Second Life viewer uses for texture memory. So that's just fine for this machine. It'll probably do fine with Blender as well. We'll see. I mean, so what my plans are from now on, after doing some research online, is to just use NVIDIA cards on my 2 desktops here, and just as I buy new ones for my main computer, rotate the old ones to this one, and then, you know, either put this one in storage or sell it or something. Put the third one down the line. But for the next 2 years, I'll probably be using the 750 Ti in this computer and the 1050 Ti in the other one. So, you know, as far as consistency goes, I think it'll be fine. I've also done some research on Wayland on Linux to see if that'll affect me. And since I'm on Debian and they don't implement new things unless they're really stable and ready for prime time, I don't have anything to worry about. I don't think they're going to implement Wayland as default until probably next decade sometime in the 2020s. So I can continue to use my NVIDIA cards and not have an issue with it. Obviously, I don't use NVIDIA on Linux everywhere. It's only on this particular desktop. So it'll be safe. So what I'm going to do is put the 750 Ti in this computer down here. Now, what am I going to do with the RX 460? I have decided to put that in the sleeper build here. This computer is a Sandy Bridge build, and what this will allow this computer to do is play games like Forza Horizon 3 with the 4 gigs of VRAM on the RX 460. So that will help the game along quite a bit. That will allow this sleeper to really shine, since the RX 460 is one of the better budget video cards these days, along with the RX 560 that's replaced it now as a newer model. So that's what I've done with this card. The R7370 is just going to go in storage. That's a spare card that happens to still be really capable. So that's a good card to keep around in case I have something go wrong. Like, for example, I don't know, if the RX 460 happens to die, I can just stick the R7370 back in there and it will work. So that is what I've done as far as cards are concerned. This is the box to that 750 Ti, by the way. It's the 2 gig version. I'm sure you guys remember this when I got it. But yeah, that's what we're doing with these particular machines. I've also been playing with the layout of my apartment a little bit. This keyboard's probably going to get replaced with another one that you'll see a future video of. I've moved my desk next to my bed so that I have space by the window, and a bunch of other stuff. I need to address all that in a different video, like an apartment tour video, for example. But I just wanted to show you some of what I've been playing around with on my computers lately. Since I changed the layout of this room, I've sort of been playing around with my hardware a little bit as well. And I've gone back to NVIDIA for video cards on my 2 desktops, for at least the 2 main desktops, simply for performance with OpenGL and Second Life and things like that. So I think that will take care of my issues. I have noticed on this card that on the higher settings it does struggle a little bit, so the 750 Ti is starting to show its age, but since this will have the same Debian install for the next 2 years, I can honestly handle the performance. It's good enough for what I need it for. So once this thing gets the 1050 Ti again down the line, it'll be beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, you know, there you go. I'm going to do my old trick of hand-me-downs. So there you have it. That's what I've been playing around with computer hardware lately. It's mostly just been moving video cards around and seeing what's the most optimal setup I can have for all the cards that I own. and dealing with all that. So, bit of a boring, talky video, I guess, but maybe you guys enjoyed it, I guess. I should also add to the end the laptop situation. For the most part, it's the same, except for the edition and unedition? Is that a word? I don't know. Anyway, it's the System76 laptop. It's been the newest thing around, plus that X260 over there. So I just wanted to show you some of the stickers I put on the System76 Gazelle. I just thought these were amusing. I got a GIMP sticker there, Blender, FreeBSD, Gen 2, Arch Linux, Ubuntu, a System76 sticker, Ubuntu Mate's logo, Ting, which is a phone service I use, the OpenSUSE logo, Debian logo, Home, another System76 sticker, VLC, and Obama not bad. And of course over here are some of the newer stickers I put on. I got a Murdoch Gorilla sticker and a fidget spinner sticker. Yeah, so this might miff a few people. I don't know why people get so mad at those. They're really nothing to sneeze at. But anyway, that just reminds you what year it is. My favorite of all these is probably the Murdoch sticker. I'm a pretty big Gorillaz fan, so I thought that was pretty cool. I have more stickers to add here, there. I got more space for a lot of stickers, so that'll be nice. I did end up taking stickers off the off this side of the laptop because it just looks stupid, so I left the Core i5 sticker on it. Overall, this Gazelle I've been very happy with. It's one of the best purchases I've made in a long time. This Clevo machine shipped or sold by System76 is one of the best machines I have bought in a long time. Fantastic computer. Now about the Galago Pro, I don't have it anymore. I decided to return it because for the money, I didn't think I was getting my money's worth out of it. I paid less for this and got more power out of it, and paid a lot more for the Galago Pro and got a lot less of a computer out of it for my money. So I decided to send it back. Paying the premium for thinness is just not in my best interest. These chunky old design laptops are still some of the best you can buy, I think, for the money. So, hey, there you go. However, this isn't old. Of course, it has Kaby Lake hardware in it. But, hey, there you have it. That is an update on the situation with the computers, both desktop and laptop. There are some computers coming in the mail. I've got a vintage one and an almost vintage one coming in the mail. You'll see. One of them's a 486, and one of them is a Core 2 Duo based machine, or Core 2 based machine, I should say. So we'll have some stuff to talk about. Plus, I have other devices that I haven't made videos yet that I need to. So I figured I'd get this out of the way, put this all in one video, so we can get on to actually doing that sort of stuff, actually looking at hardware, looking at stuff, yada yada yada. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good one, everybody. Ciao.